So we've learned in providing home care for over 26 years that home is really where people want to be. It's where they're most familiar, where they're most comfortable, and science seems to prove it's where we recover the best. The question is, how do we stay at home? What are the tools out there that are available to us? So I'm Buck Shaw. I'm the owner of Homestead Senior Care, serving Sacramento, Nevada, Placer, and El Dorado counties. Been doing that for about 26 years. Took care of my own father for about a decade before that. So I've seen almost everything there is to see and experience what it really means to deal with home care on a personal level and on a professional level. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what is home care and what are the benefits of home care. So home care, it can get a little confusing if you don't understand the environment. There's skilled home health care. That's typically when we've had an event, we've gone to the hospital, we're coming home, and we get government paid care for a very limited period of time while we're improving. It's very controlled. Non-medical home care, or what we call senior home care, is a little bit different. It's not skilled care. It is people doing the same things you and I would do for our loved ones if we had the ability and the time and the geographic opportunity. But beyond that, they're very well trained, good quality home care. We're very well trained in dementia care, end of life care, ambulation and transference, and then the basics: social interaction, meal preparation, chore work, companionship, transportation. It's really all encompassing. And while it's the most basic and fundamental level of care in kind of the healthcare senior care ecosystem, it is also in some ways the most potentially impactful. And why is that? Why is it so impactful? Because the person who's in the home 3 days a week, 5 days a week, even just a couple days a week, has a tremendous opportunity to build a relationship with our loved one, the senior we're taking care of, improve their diet and nutrition, improve their social interaction, get them moving a little bit, even if that just means getting up and walking out to the mailbox 3 times a week. It's a start. Those are the kinds of medicine that we as human beings absolutely need to thrive. We've indeed seen environments where every medical need was being met, but where people were isolated socially, isolated physically, and most of us do not do well in that environment. We need human connection. So I think one of the biggest things we provide is transportation, which we take for granted. And it's funny to me how families are always upset when mom or dad doesn't want to give up their car when they're 85 or they're suffering from cognitive impairment. The reason we don't want to give up our cars, guys, is that is our independence. That is the one thing we can do where we can control in our minds where we go and what we do. When someone can no longer safely transport themselves, it's really important that we not isolate them through that and that we find a way to still let them get out, have a cup of coffee, go to the flower store, go to the grocery store, and then the more important things like pharmacy visits, doctor visits, and those types of things. So one of the other really cool things about senior home care, when it's done well with quality, it should really be a custom care plan built exactly to your needs and to your budget as much as possible. So we actually want to create a custom care plan for each unique client we have and optimize their quality of life and health the best we possibly can in the amount of time we're in that home. For example, guys, cognitive care is an area where it's so critical that you have an understanding of cognitive care and the techniques involved in how you provide care to someone who has memory impairment. A lot of the traditional ways we think and communicate aren't going to be effective. We talk about with cognitive clients meeting them in their own reality and trying to deal with them in their own reality. Sometimes things that we take for granted, like you would never be dishonest with a loved one. But if someone has cognitive impairment and someone has died and they ask about them every day and they relive that grief every day, it may be a better answer to just say they're in a better place, or they're not here, or they're gone today, or they're on vacation. It's hard to wrap your arms around it, but sometimes doing what is best relative to where they are in their mindset and their memory journey is really a more effective way to deal with someone. Cognitive impairment is one of the most challenging things we deal with in senior care. And right now I'm going through it with my own mother, who's just turned 90 years old and has a pretty advanced dementia. And it is so challenging for my family to deal with. It's challenging for me to deal with it. When it's your own loved one, dealing with someone who's slowly losing their ability to remember and know who people are and be aware and communicate, it's really brutal and it's really hard. And having somebody who's not in the family who understands how to optimize that environment can really make a huge difference. It's also critical that when you're in that environment, you make sure you're getting some respite. And respite means you get a break from that environment at least a couple times a week for a couple hours. So how would you actually go about getting home care into your environment, into your home, your loved one's home? For us, we make that as simple as we can. We send a care manager, and our care managers are very experienced, out to your home. They'll meet with you. There's no pressure. It's not salesy. The real idea of that consultation is to make sure it's an appropriate level of care and an appropriate match, but to even more importantly, really understand who your loved one is, what kind of person they would get along with well. The goal here is they and their caregivers build a bond and a relationship with boundaries needs, but that is comfortable for them and that they can trust that person and feel very safe and comfortable in their care. So we want to develop a care plan custom made to your needs. Care manager comes out and does that at your convenience. Sometimes we do it at home. Sometimes you want to meet us at a Starbucks first. Sometimes it's in a clinical environment. We don't care. We want to make it as easy on you and your loved one as we can during this time of change. So one of the other things you get when you deal with us at Home Instead in Sacramento, Auburn, Nevada, El Dorado, Placer County, we have been here for 26 years and we like to advocate for everyone in the senior care community, not just our clients. If you need resources, if you need information, if you need to know other types of care, we have relationships with those providers and we can put you in the right direction with the right people. And that is such a godsend when you're under pressure in these environments. So if you want to reach us for a consultation or just to talk or ask questions or learn about other resources, just go to www.livehomeinstead.com. You can get in touch with us there and we're more than happy to come out with you and meet with you at your convenience.